What is up, all you GBA type fans? This is Tom, and I'm here bringing you guys my battle against Lars. I know it's late, but hear me out. A few housekeeping things. Sorry, so the battle is so late. Unfortunately, last week, a lot of in real life stuff got in the way. When it came to battling Lars, I didn't have any time during the week. I was working on a police application, doing a lot of stuff that required me to not really be at home outside of just work, and then when I was able to plan, it was like 8:30, 9:30 at night. Had to be up the next morning super early. Really didn't have all the time I'd like to adequately prep for Lars. So unfortunately, our battle did get pushed until Sunday morning, and then when Saturday happened, it was mayhem. So with that in mind, unfortunately, we couldn't battle until Sunday. Then when it came to getting my battle up, Lars got his up in time. However, when we battled, had to go to work right after. Monday happened, didn't get my battle until 20 minutes before I had to leave for work. Worked, and then Tuesday through the rest of the week, I had to drive like many hours to go and drop off police applications, stuff like that. Anyway, point is, here's my battle. Fortunately, it had to happen, or upload a week later. Going to try to work with that, but the last week was just kind of, for the past 2 weeks actually, was just kind of exceptions. So, looking at my team, looking at Lars' team, I'm really not going to go into this because I'm sure you guys have already seen his side, but of course, it's always good to hear my side. Analysts don't really give a damn, but you guys, I'll give you guys credit. You guys are cool. So my team was a Assault Vest Mamoswine, which did not fucking work, a Kabia Berry offensive Sylveon with Hyper Voice and Hidden Power Fire. The Kabia Berry was there mostly for like the Sludge Wave from Landorus. I know Earth Power would probably kill me anyway, but maybe if he wanted to, go for that super effective move, I thought it was an idea. Same way he thought that Wackenberry Crawdon was an idea. You know, we all have our mistakes sometimes. Life Orb, Offensive Starmie, 3 attacks plus Spin. Yeah, I know Spin's an attack, but it's not like, oh, I'm going to go for Rapid Spin to, adequately chip away his... No, it's not how that works. I had a Swords Dance Cobalion, Dual Stab plus Stealth Rocks, a standard-ish defensive Arcanine with Blitz and Charge, then, your normal Willow and Morning Sun. Then I had a Colbur Hex defensive Gelatin set with Will-O-Wisp, Taunt, and Recover. And this team was I didn't bring Mega Aerodactyl because I felt like he could set up on things. It was just a little bit too frail. The Shaman plus the Vaporeon plus the Crawdon setting up just kind of didn't really sit well in my mind. And then what was the other thing that I didn't bring? The Tyrantrum. I didn't want to play with rolls and missing head smashes. I think I got a 2% chance to KO at +1 or just in general with head smash against Vaporeon. Really wasn't okay with playing with those rolls. And on an 80% move, it's not really the best thing that you want to hope for when you battle. So this match, we'll jump right into it. Hopefully you guys just kind of understand where I'm coming from. I'm gonna try and get through this because then I'm gonna try to get a double header up today because I want to get ready for work, but in the same token, I'd like to put up the team builder for Cooper, and the battle against Cooper will go up tomorrow. I'll work away the time with him, but as of right now, I'm unsure of the time which we'll be setting up our battles. Okay, so I'm going to lead off with my Assault Vest Mamoswine, go for knockoff. It does damage, it gets off his leftovers. I kind of thought he'd be like a Sash set or something. But he goes for Grass Knot. I'm like, yeah, Assault Vest work. Not really. That was a lot of damage. So that's kind of one of the many reasons why I'm getting rid of Mamoswine. At this point, I no longer have Mamoswine. I have Melodic, which, yes, that means I have 2 water types. I'll explain that in a bit. Then with Sylveon, he's going to Stealth Rock on my Switch. And then on his Switch, I'm going to Baton Pass. Reason I'm dumping off, I'm going to have 2 water types is because I attempted to trade with Nick, the Catrapion, because he wanted Gelatin really badly. And that trade fell through because Nick is a little tiny baby who didn't want to go through with the trade. Even though Gelatin would have been good on his team, but he's a little baby. And Acupressure for him was too important to be a troll again. It was a stupid game. Anyway, something happened. I go into Gelatin, go for Taunt just in case he does stay in with Vaporeon. Now he's going to go into Shaman, and as Lars very well explained, Shaman does a lot to work to my team. Not very many things, especially with Grass plus Ground coverage it does just, rip holes through my team. At this current second, Sylveon is my candidate to take a Seed Flare. So I hope I don't get the Spadef drop, but unfortunately I do. So that means Sylveon is super dead if I stay in, and he's going to go for Giga Drain, either of which would kill me. Going to go to Arcanine. Unfortunately, Arcanine is going to go down before even, you know, seeing the likes of Scizor or Crawdon. But on the same token, he does have a Shaman. He does have Vaporeon. Landorus destroys Arcanine. Scizor, assuming he's a setup variant, I'm not going to play with shit when it comes to having him switch out into Vaporeon. And Crawdon is, of course, adaptability, and Aqua Jet you can set up, stuff like that. Not okay. Like, Arcanine was a good idea, but in this context of this match, it just wasn't the best. So, unfortunately, Arcanine has to go down after a Seed Flare and then a Earth Power. So, you know, Ripperoni, Waffles, I love you so. Gonna go into Starmie. Now, I was thinking here, maybe he's a Sulfest offensive, but on the same token, I really don't feel like going into Mamoswine because it's not choiced in any way, so I cannot speed it, and I don't really feel like letting him go for a Seed Flare Giga Drain. It's gonna knock me out, you know, whatever. I just sacked 2 months to get a little more information about this Shaman. At this point in the battle, with Shaman coming in, I was like, shit, I didn't expect Shaman to be as big of a problem, but unfortunately, it is. Also, the other reason I didn't go right into it is because I want to get a little bit of damage off on Shaman, so that maybe a Ice Shard, if he does stay in, would in fact kill. I think, however, I think I'll go for the Ice Shard this time, yeah. Go for the Ice Shard, does, you know, negligible damage to this Vaporeon. Of course, it's a Vaporeon. I expected it to be defensive, expected it to be bulky. Did a great job at taking on my team and ensuring that he had a reliable wall to switch into a lot of the things on my team. However, here I am not going to switch out. I play a little aggressively here because I think, okay, he might switch out, make the double, and that was a good play on his end, but I thought an Earthquake, if nothing else, would just be damage. It would at least allow myself to get into Cobalion, and that's, you know, irrelevant at this case, but I go for the Earthquake. It does a fair chunk of damage to the Shaman, and then he switches out. He doesn't want to die to an Ice Shard, but I go for Ice Shard plus Icicle Crash. The Ice Shard crit mattered. The Icicle Shard crit did not. Icicle Shard, I think... Oh my god. Ice Shard crit did matter because the damage allowed me to just, like, more reliably KO with Icicle Crash. But Icicle Crash, you know, was going to KO, I think, regardless after the damage, because he wasn't leftovers. Goes into Scizor here. I believe he's going to go for Bullet Punch, which does damage, I think, and then he's going to go for U-Turn. Now I go to Jellicent. You know, or at least anybody knows that watched this battle. He's going to go into Vaporeon, or he's going to go into Shaman, because both of which are, well, actually more or less just Shaman, because it outpaces and it picks up another kill on his team. Against my team. Sorry, it's early. I go for Will-O-Wisp, get a little bit of chip damage off. It was my best kind of ish play. Thought maybe he'd go into Vaporeon. I'm a Hex set, which it was cool idea in theory, and that was more or less for the Vaporeon, but looking at it now, I don't know. I'm glad I made the transaction that I did, because I think Melodic is a better water wall than Jellicent is, and I would have liked to have Drapion over Jellicent, but we've been over that part already. Here I'm going to attempt to make an aggressive switch. I don't think he's going into Earth Power, or he's going for Earth Power. Gonna go into Cobalion. Gonna let it take the Giga Drain. And then I'm gonna go for Close Combat. This wasn't... In Lars' narration, he mentioned that he thought it was going to be an attempt to kind of show that it was choiced, or in some case, because he thought I would need to do that in order to take on his Landorus. In some cases, of course. But I'm going to go for Close Combat. I know it's not going to do that much damage. I'm kind of seeing if maybe he'd sack off the Shaman. Maybe I can get some damage off on the Vaporeon. Here, unfortunately, I do facilitate him to get the opportunity to go for Wish, and then, of course, to bring back his Shaman up to full HP, because I can't kill it. The Natural Cure kicks in, but I was just thinking, like, damage, because with Jellicent in, I can't recover, because it's just more free switching into Shaman. Thought maybe if I get a crit, if I get some good damage off. Part of me thought he was still burned, but I thought maybe. But on the same case, it doesn't really matter. He got the Shaman back up to full HP. Now he's going to end up getting back to full HP, and he's probably going to KO him with the Seed Flare, assuming he didn't miss. If he did miss, though, I think right there I did go for another Hex just to get some damage off. But this, again, allows me to go into Cobalion. Now, Cobalion at this point kind of became a win condition solely for the fact that Cobalion, with the setup, I could put some big holes into things. In this case, I'm going to go for Sword Stance, and he's going to go into Vaporeon. At the range that he's at, a close combat will certainly kill. You know, the hit before was at least 50%. Putting it at +2 is, I'm pretty sure it's going to knock it out from almost full. Now this puts him in a situation. His situation then becomes what wants to die. And I'll explain that in a minute. Cobalion, I'm dual stab, so I have Iron Head and I have close combat. I'm not going to go for close combat against a Landorus. However, there was something I could have done. Alright? I do switch out, as we saw in Lars' match. Now, you might be wondering, why don't you go for the Iron Head? You're a +2. It would have done between 78 and 83% was my roll. Now, Lars even said it himself, but didn't say it in his narration. Thank you, dog. I do enjoy your commentary. He said that if I went for the Iron Head and got the flinch, he would have to sack 2 things and then go ahead and bring in Crawdaunt for the Aqua Jet damage, because I would have had to go for Iron Head. This is how this would have had to work. Go for a +2 Iron Head, get the flinch on the Landorus, then I go ahead and knock it out with a second Iron Head. Alright, then now he has 3 Mons left. Next up, he goes into Shaman. At the range it was at, had to go for close combat, or he goes into Scizor, get some bullet punch damage, I go for close combat and knock it out. Now, I'm at -1/-1, and Adaptability Aqua Jet would have knocked me out from where I was. Or, would have been, no, it would have knocked me out, because it's a Crawdaunt, it's Adaptability, it's max invested. I think it would have knocked me out. Now, the thing is, whether or not I switched out Cobalion, whatever I went into, if he was really, you know, cheeky, he would have set up and maybe going for D-Dance, maybe not. But Aqua Jet plus something else, or just 2 Aqua Jets, they knock out Mamoswine because it was super low. And then it also knocked out Sylveon at the range it was at, because Sylveon didn't have much HP investment. It had some, but it was mostly offensive. It had enough speed. I forgot for what. Like, it was something I planned for. It had enough speed on Lars' team to outpace. But the point is, there's a whole what if that I could have went into, but going for the Iron Head, I should have done it, you know, in hindsight right here, but it didn't really matter. I think I still would have lost anyway. Maybe the score would have been like 1-0 or 2-0, something like that. But I go into Sylveon here, he goes for Earth Power. I'm going to go into Mamoswine. I'm not going to go for Ice Shard because I thought he was Scarfed. That makes no fucking sense. I think at that point I kind of figured he wasn't Scarfed, that he was Yachi Berry. And actually I also kind of thought he would switch out here, because if he wasn't Yachi Berry, I thought maybe he didn't want to let his Landorus go down because it is such a powerhouse, and maybe a win condition if it was Scarfed. That went through my head at this point. Back on Cobalion, gonna go for Iron Head. It does a good amount of damage, gonna knock me out with Earth Power. That's gonna be the game. Unfortunately, I do lose here, 4-0. Lars, it was a fun battle. I didn't necessarily think of how much of a problem. Yeah, that was a crit too. I didn't think about how much the Shaman was for my team until it actually did, you know, tear holes in my team, or punch holes with seeds through my team, I should say. But hey, we're gonna bounce back. I wasn't salty after this match. I just really didn't have any time to fucking narrate this, and unfortunately. That is the case for these past 2 weeks. This match versus Cooper will be going up tomorrow. My team builder will hopefully be going up, assuming my rendering for this doesn't take too long. But in the meantime, I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. I know this is an old match, and you'll see about 3 more matches coming up, or 2 videos coming up after this. But as always, love your commentaries, love talking to you guys. Sound off in the comment section. Buy a shirt if you like. Have a good day. I'll talk to you guys soon.